Have you ever started a new year feeling really motivated? You set big goals, you plan everything, you tell yourself this is the year, and then life happens. Work gets busy, something unexpected comes up, you miss a few days, then a few weeks, and slowly the plan you were so excited about just fades into the background. The problem is that at the beginning of the year we try to do too much, too fast. We put so much pressure on ourselves to change everything at once. Our business, our health, our routines, our mindset. And when real life happens, when life doesn't cooperate, we feel like we failed. But here's what I've noticed in myself and in the people I work with. When we start the year trying to fix everything, we usually end up fixing nothing. So instead of talking about big resolutions or perfect plans, today I want to talk about something much more sustainable. How to build your best year 90 days at a time, in a way that actually fits your life. Hi everyone, I'm Mollen. Today we're talking about simplifying the way we approach the new year, so we can make real progress and achieve those goals once and for all, without burning out or having to start over and over again. So let's lower the pressure and get things done. Let's do it. To make this work, we first need to be honest about why most plans fall apart and to do a reality check. And here's the reality most people don't talk about. At the beginning of the year, we don't just want progress, we want transformation. We want to improve our business, be more consistent, be healthier, have more time, feel more balanced. So we make ambitious plans. And that ambition is not a bad thing. The problem is what happens next. We design a version of the year that assumes nothing unexpected will come up, energy will always be high, motivation will always be there, and life will finally slow down. But real life doesn't work like that, does it? Things change, priorities shift, some weeks are harder than others. And when the plan doesn't survive contact with real life, we don't adjust the plan. We blame ourselves. We tell ourselves, I'm not disciplined enough, I always start strong and then fall off. Why can't I just stick with something? But that's not the real issue. The real issue is that most plans are built for perfect conditions, not for real people with real lives. And that's why balance feels so hard. We try to give 100% to everything at the same time. Work, health, relationships, personal growth. And when something has to give, we feel like we failed. But here's the shift I want you to make. A great year isn't built by doing everything at once, it's built by doing the right things at the right time with consistency. That's why, instead of asking, how do I have a perfect year? A much better question is, what can I realistically commit for the next 90 days? Because when you stop trying to win the whole year and focus on winning the next season, balance becomes possible again. So if trying to plan an entire year is what creates pressure, the solution isn't to stop planning, it's to plan smaller on purpose. That's why I want to introduce a much simpler way to think about your year, a 90-day roadmap. Instead of asking yourself to manage 12 months in your head, you focus on one season at a time. 90 days is powerful because it's long enough to create real momentum, short enough to stay focused, and flexible enough to adjust when life happens. Here's how I want you to think about it. Your year isn't one long sprint. It's a series of 4 focused seasons, and your only job right now is to build this one. First, you take step 1. You choose your focus. For the next 90 days, you choose 3 priorities. Not 5, not 10, just 3. This is important because focus is what creates balance. You see, when everything is a priority, nothing really is. Your 3 priorities might come from different areas of your life. For example, one related to your work or to your business, another one related to your personal growth or lifestyle. This way, you are not neglecting parts of your life, you're being intentional about them. Next, get specific. Instead of vague goals like I want to grow or I want to be more consistent, ask yourself what would progress actually look like in the next 90 days. Not perfection, not a complete transformation, just meaningful forward movement. Clear definitions of progress reduce frustration because you know that you're working towards something. You start now thinking in terms of seasons. This part is key. A 90-day plan is not a lifelong commitment. It's an experiment. You're not saying, I'm going to do this forever. You're saying, I'm going to focus on this for now. That mindset alone lowers resistance, increases follow through, and makes it much easier to stay consistent. Because you're not trying to redesign your entire life, you're just building the next season, the next 90 days. This framework works because it respects real life and changing energy. It prevents overload and burnout. It creates clarity without rigidity. It gives you permission to adjust without quitting. From here, the natural next question is, okay, but how do I stay on track week after week? Well, that's exactly what we'll talk about next. How to turn this roadmap into simple weekly execution. So now the question is, how do you actually make this work in your real life? Well, let's make this practical, because having a 90-day roadmap is great, but what really determines whether it works is what you do week by week. This is where most people either stay consistent or slowly fall off. So instead of relying on motivation, I want you to use something much more reliable. A weekly dashboard, nothing complicated, just a simple way to check in with yourself every week. Think of it as feedback, not judgment. Your weekly dashboard has 3 parts: metrics, habits, and wins. Metrics are what you track. Metrics tell you if you're moving in the right direction. So for each of your 3 90-day priorities, choose 1 or 2 metrics, no more. For example, number of focused work sessions, content published, workouts completed, sale calls booked, hours protected for yourself. These numbers are not there to pressure you, they are there to give you clarity. Because when you know where you stand, you can adjust instead of guessing or overthinking. Now next, habits. Habits are what you repeat, are the actions that make progress inevitable. Ask yourself, what do I need to do consistently, not perfectly, to move this goal forward? This should be small enough that you can keep going, even on busy weeks. This is very important because busy weeks will happen. Consistency doesn't mean doing a lot. It means doing the right few things regularly. Now third, wins. Wins are what you acknowledge. This part is essential and often skipped. Every week you write down what worked, what improved, what you're proud of. Progress doesn't always feel dramatic. Sometimes it's quiet. If you don't acknowledge it, your brain assumes nothing is happening. And that's when motivation drops. Wins remind you that effort is paying off, even if the results aren't fully visible yet. So now let's see how to use this dashboard. Once a week, that's it. Pick a day, 10 to 15 minutes, review it, review your metrics, your habits, your wins. Then ask one simple question. What needs to change the next week to feel better, not harder? And that's how you stay aligned without burning out. When you combine a 90-day focus with a simple weekly check-in, you stop starting over and start building momentum. So here's what I want you to do. This week, this weekend or the next time you can book a quiet hour for yourself. Give yourself 60 minutes. Not to plan the whole year, not to fix everything, just to do this. Choose your 3 priorities for the next 90 days. Define what progress actually looks like and create your first simple weekly dashboard. That's it. You don't need a perfect plan. You need a clear and realistic plan. And remember this, a great year isn't built in January. It's built in focused seasons, one after the other. I'm Mollen, thanks for being here and until next time.